Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's been a while since I've added audio to one of my articles. So, pre apologies because I have a cold at the moment and I'm a bit feverish. So, I am working from home today, snuggled up and hunkered down in bed. I hope that you are well. I am sending you strength from wherever you are listening, reading from. So the article included shares some of the themes, and this audio is going to go into the detail of the transits in these coming 6 months, specifically of 2026. So pull out your agendas and look at the dates that are being referenced, maybe make some notes, and see how it goes for you. Okay, so let's just jump into it. The first half of 2026 is a timeline of a really big global reality check. So come late January, Neptune is entering Aries. That happens today on the 26th of January. And this is the global reset button. We are officially stepping into a once in a generational reset as Neptune enters Aries. And we already got a sneak peek of this energy last year from May through September of 2025. So I want you to think back to that period. What was unraveling then? What was awakening? What truths were being revealed to you and surfacing? That storyline is now back, but now it's actually serious that we pay attention. So Neptune will stay in Aries until 2039, which means that we are at the beginning of a very long, slow reboot of courage, desire, faith, imagination, and rebellion. So this isn't a spiritual escapism. This is more spiritual activation. Neptune in Aries doesn't want us to transcend reality. Instead, it wants us to rebuild it, restore it. So this transit asks some dangerous questions like, what do we actually believe in? What are we willing to fight for? Because systems of domination don't just fade away with time. They collapse when people dare to imagine something better and refuse to stop reaching for it. But dreaming alone won't save us, of course, which brings us to late January. So late January, this week specifically on around the 28th, Mars conjuncts with Pluto. And this is power, fear, and agency. So Mars and Pluto meet this week, and this is confrontational, mobilizing energy. So expect to see that play out in your personal relations as well. And this combo drags fear, control, survival instincts, and power struggles straight into the light. It exposes where we've gone numb, passive, or complacent just to get through the day. And this is about reclaiming agency. It's about remembering that clarity is power, that stamina is resistance, that strategy matters. This transit asks us to stop shrinking and start engaging internally and externally. That's really hard for me. Early February is the eclipse season. February 20th, I think, is the Saturn-Neptune peak, where Saturn and Neptune conjunct. So this is reality breaking open. Now we enter one of the most important windows of 2026. On February 17th, we get a Uranus-charged Aquarian solar eclipse, and that's aligned with the Lunar New Year. So think power surges through networks, technology, collective movements, and information systems. This one's definitely going to shake up the grid. And then around February 20th, yes, we hit that exact Saturn-Neptune conjunction, peaking a cycle that has been building since April of 2025. So this is huge. Historically, Saturn-Neptune conjunctions coincide with, let's say, the Russian Revolution. I think that was 1917, and the fall of the Berlin Wall. What was that, 1989? So think the collapse of ideological systems built on illusions. This transit marks the end of an era where unreality could be governed as policy. Saturn brings reality. Neptune dissolves illusion. Together, they dismantle deception slowly, relentlessly, and publicly. So let's focus on collectively manifesting the higher path to our futures. And these events with Neptune and Aries, Saturn and Aries, these events are all why the astrologers everywhere are discussing this year to be memorable as a global reboot. But unfortunately, we're likely to see political betrayals, alliance breakdowns, more scandal surfacing, truth leaking faster than control can contain. So reality is really pressing forward, and truth has momentum now. We've got to keep pressing for that. Early March, we have the Virgo lunar eclipse, and also Jupiter, which is currently retrograding in Cancer, goes direct. So on March 3rd, we get the Virgo lunar eclipse, and this one acts like a forensic audit over the month of February. It dismantles illusion detail by detail until only evidence remains. So let's pray for that to be the case. And then on 11th of March, Jupiter turns direct in Cancer. And this is turning emotional pressure way up. So we actually get to the core of what Jupiter in Cancer can do. This is going to amplify public response, protective instincts, and a collective memory. So think people remembering and waking up over these last years. That's going to happen in the masses and very fast. People are going to start to remember what's been taken, what's been promised, what's been erased or denied. So this is truly an accountability season coming up this spring. Mid-April, there are 7 planets in Aries, and this is a pressure cooker as well. So April might feel a bit intense. From April 15th to the 17th, we're going to have those 7 planets lined up in Aries, 4 at the beginning of the sign and 3 at the end. And people will be triggered. Reactions are going to be fast and tempers will be short. Decisions will feel urgent. So this is not a think later transit, but it should be. So let's mind our P's and Q's the month of April. Is that the right phrase? P's and Q's? What does that even stand for? Why do I know to say that? Let's focus. April 17th, we have the Aries new moon, which is potent manifestation energy, especially collectively, if we can just slow ourselves down enough, just enough to choose consciously instead of reacting impulsively. Ride the fire. Don't let it burn you. That is my best advice from my natal Aries moon. The overall 2026 theme is letting go of what we have shed so we can lean quicker into motion. 2025 was the year of the snake, and it was about shedding, purging, and letting go. 2026, the year of the fire horse, is about forward moving action, moving emotions into actual 3D motion, maybe even 4 and 5D motion if you have that ability. This is a desire finding direction. This is a body remembering it can move freely again. And this energy feels like a free range horse hitting open grass after years locked up in a pen. So astrologically, it makes sense because we have an unusually high number of major planetary signs shifting, happening all at once. So that recap. Neptune moves into Aries. Saturn's moving into Aries. Uranus is moving into Gemini this spring. Pluto has been freshly settled into Aquarius for quite some time now. Jupiter is going to move into Leo around the June solstice, late June, and it's going to shift things up for the summer. We also have a shift in the lunar nodes where Aquarius and Leo are taking the stage, moving out of Virgo and Pisces. And there are a lot of retrogrades in there too, but they kind of drift in the shadows of these outer planets for this year. This kind of alignment, specifically this kind of alignment, is rare. Big collective rewiring years don't happen quietly. So we're also entering a period of serious economic restructuring. Historically, Saturn-Neptune cycles coincide with market volatility, wealth concentration, inflation rates rising, corporate and political scandals. We can expect that. What we can expect more are rising cost and greater wealth division and an increasing strain on the working and the middle classes, aggressive wealth hoarding at the top. And this is all late stage capitalism energy cracking under its own weight. Pluto and Capricorn saying goodbye. So as we move into the summer months, it'll be quiet for June, and then July is going to bring some shenanigans, especially around the U.S. political side of things. This is the 250th anniversary of the American democracy. And astrologically, Cancer is a very sensitive trigger point for the U.S. chart. Cancer rules homeland security, nationalism, and emotional memory. So I'm anticipating July to be very hectic for at least the Americans, but unfortunately that means the rest of the world will suffer from the domino effect. So let's see how this impacts us over here in Europe during high holiday season in August. So just a note to mention, there are oddly 3 moons in Cancer this year. We have already had the full moon in Cancer on January 3rd. That brought the invasion in Venezuela. And then we have the new moon in Cancer coming up mid-July, July 14th. And then we end the year with the full moon on Christmas Eve, December 24th. So don't be surprised if July brings major political or social flashpoints, particularly in the US, that ripple outward globally and last up and through December. So the big message of 2026 so far is this year is not about spiritual bypassing. It's not about waiting. It's not about trusting the process and hoping for the best. This is reality creation. Imagination becomes political. Emotion becomes movement. Expression becomes resistance. And courage, when practiced collectively, becomes contagious. Or so I've learned. I'm thanking you for being here and listening to my scratchy voice. And I'm wishing you well from my corner of the world to yours. Goodbye.